You had just finished getting ready for the day, as you were supposed to meet up with your best friend, Princess Yayorozu Mau. You decided to wear an elegant floor-length dress, accompanied with a sparkly jewelry on your neck and wrists, if you want to, and your crown just being the center of attention. After adding the finishing touches to your look, you peeked outside your door to see Izuku, like he said he would be. He notices you and speaks up. Are you all ready to head out, Princess Yen? Since you two were not in private anymore, he unfortunately had to call you by the title. You nodded, then replied, Yes, I'm ready to head out to the carriage. It should be prepared for my departure, yes? The two of you then started walking downstairs, as your room was at the top of the castle. While walking, he nods. Yes, the carriage is prepared. Would you want me to be outside with the coachman? Don't be silly, Izuku. I want to know you more. You can sit on the inside with me. You smiled. His face shows a mix of emotions, shock, mixed with a bit of happiness, and also a bit of confusion, as if almost impossible to see. But what if I get caught? Don't worry about that, Izuku. My coachman knows that I like to have conversations with my knights. It happens all the time with Toshinori. You interrupted with a small smile. Plus, both my mother and father are aware well of the fact that I was always close with him as well. I'm sure that they will not mind at all. He sighs and looks at you. Well, all right then, Princess. I told you not to call me that, you pouted. When he sees your silly expression, he can't help but let out a deep chuckle. I'm aware, but we are walking within the castle. If someone heard it, it would be off with my head. You rolled your eyes at the end of your smile. You were tired. Because of the actions, it suddenly made Izuku very nervous and flustered. Time skip, and you arrive at Mama's. You and Izuku were having such a wonderful conversation when your carriage slowed down to a stop. When you exited, you noticed your best friend excitingly waiting for you. Princess Yen, I've missed you so much, Mamo says as she hugs you softly. How long has it been? I think it's only been a few weeks, and I do apologize about that. With the war going on, my mother and father have been much stricter with me leaving the kingdom, you replied with a saddened smile. But with Izuku promising to never leave my side, they reluctantly let me. You pointed out to Momo him as she looks a bit confused as to who you were talking about. What happened to Toshinori? I thought he was your knight. The two of you start to walk around her palace gardens while you gossip. Oh, I forgot that you did not know. Toshinori is leading my kingdom's army in the war, and after he's finished with his deployment, he will be retiring, you answer. Oh, that's such a shame. I knew you really liked having him around, Momo commented. Well, yes. While I did like having him around, it felt a bit weird because he was much older than me, but Izuku is around my age, so I believe it will be nicer talking to him, even though we have just met this morning, you remarked, and Princess Malma leads the two of you to her gazebo, which was covered in nature. Whenever you and your Princess Malma visit each other, the two of you would always be outside, whether it be in the garden of hers. No season mattered. Without fail, the two of you would gossip about royal drama while snacking on some treats and sipping on some tea. That Princess Mama would bring herself. It was at her kingdom. Each time you would tell her that it was quite all right, that your castle kitchen had plenty of options, but she always insisted on bringing her own. Oh, but you must try this new blender that I created, was always her excuse each time. And you noticed that Izuku was still trailing behind the two of you. Not too close, but not too far either. You called him over with a wave of your hand, and he automatically comes to your side. What can I do for you, Princess? Remember, it's Yin. Princess Malma doesn't mind about my knights not using formalities. He smiles and replies, Then what can I do for you, Yin? If you'd like to, you can go and explore the gardens and the castle. Princess Malmo can have one of her own knights show you around. He looked around as if unsure, then turns to look at the other princess. When she nods and responds, It's quite all right. I am the one who suggested it. He then gets led away by her knight. And, after all that, the two of you are alone. Now that we're alone, I can finally tell you the gossip. She squeals. Oh, now do tell. What happened with that knight that you were fond of last time that I visited? You questioned. So, I'm not sure if you ever knew, but he did head over to your kingdom to do further training. And each time that we met in secret, he told me it was because he wanted to be my personal knight. And I foolishly believed him, she proclaimed. He came back a few weeks ago, and when I had walked past him, he acted as if I had never knew him. Men can be such dogs, you commented, annoyed that yet again Momo had gotten her hopes up. Well, enough about me. That is just the past. What about you? Are you interested in anyone? Knowing you? Most likely not, she voiced. Oh, you know me as well. Although I do have a meeting with a potential suitor later this evening. The rumors that have been spread about him, though, it's not great. They say that he's very blunt and rude. Whenever he spars with someone, if they lose to him, he just laughs in their face and calls them idiots for trying to beat him, you express. Sounds such like a barbarian, she gasped lightly. I heard that he has a double life, where he and his knights set out on adventures, exploring the land, he whispered, and Mama laughs at the reply. I would expect nothing less of someone who treats their people like that. It seems he doesn't even want to be a prince. The two of you laugh at the comment that she made. Of course, some people just weren't cut out. Some people never wanted that life. Being trapped within the confinement of walls. It just depends on the person. But for the rest of the afternoon, the both of you gossiped to your heart's content, spilling secrets, rumors, and amongst other things. And finally, it came time to head home, where you would be meeting your suitor for the first time. And hopefully, the last. But you can never admit that.